What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Wanted to talk to you about our friends over at Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. This app is really easy to use. You just pick more or less on a few player stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your cash on a single lineup. Best of all, Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use the promo code PFF and download the app now. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll talk about Emory Jones in a second. Jalen Milroe to the Seattle Seahawks at pick number 92.
Which is only funny because when they still had Geno Smith, this was something talked about of, Seattle could think about Milroe if he gets to them and sit behind Geno Smith.
Wow.
And now you're going to get the same thing with Sam Darnold. I mean, this is where we are with the quarterbacks, but they feel the value in Milroe and the tools. Darnold's on a 3-year contract. Maybe that's about the timeline.
Darnold's, technically with the guaranteed money, it's like a 2.
Right. But either way, one of either 2 or 3 is about, probably 2 years is about the amount of time that we think maybe Jalen Milroe should sit. Get the fundamentals of your footwork right. Timing, fundamentals in your footwork, accuracy. He really is the prototypical developmental quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's got the traits. We know he can run. We know he's got a huge arm. He's got the strongest arm in this class. But it's working on timing, footwork, accuracy, right? The deep ball's gorgeous. We know this. He's got a rifle. He can chuck it as far as anybody in this class, if not further.
Yep.
We know he can run the football. I wouldn't even be shocked to see Clint Kubiak mess around and get him in there for a handful of snaps a game and get some cat packages going with him, knowing he can throw it over the top as well, right? But if you're going to have Jalen Milroe eventually be your franchise quarterback, just like Lamar, just like Jaden Daniels, like even Josh Allen to an extent, the entire offense has to be centered around him, right? And his ability to run and be that dual threat. So he certainly needs time to develop. With Sam Darnold there, he's got time to develop. I think the Seahawks at this point felt the value of, this guy's got tools. We have time to develop him. Again, ironically, in a similar way that they thought about. Remember there was talks when Anthony Richardson was getting drafted about, so could Seattle take him even? They've been looking for a developmental player, and these dual-threat quarterbacks have appealed to them. Now they pull the trigger on Milroe, and once again, of all these 5 quarterbacks that we thought would go early-ish, Shadour's the last one standing.
Yep.
Which is incredible to me. But, again, tools, and it even feels like some of these other picks at other positions, these teams are looking for athletes.
If he's not the next quarterback off the board, I don't know if he gets drafted.
Agreed.
If he's not the next quarterback off the board, I don't think he gets drafted at all. And I don't think it's going to be here tonight. Would start tomorrow. But if we start the early part of day 4, like if Will Howard, Riley Leonard, Kyle McCord, Quinn Ewers, if one of those guys comes off the board, yeah, I would think that Shador is going to go undrafted there. Seattle Seahawks, man. Gray Zabel, Nicky Manwari, Elijah Arroyo, now you got Jalen Milroe.
Again.
Well, some athletes you bet on right there.
That's 4 athletes. Prime-time athletes.
I was just going to mention the point, like Dolan just said, too. Clint Kubiak on that outside zone could put in packages. I know long-term you might want this guy as a starting quarterback, but short-term you could put in some really fun packages with Jalen Milroe at quarterback.
I agree. I think the early parts of his rookie contract, trying to make sure that he's getting a little bit more consistent, you can find ways to get this guy on the field.
Bears did it with Fields originally, yeah.
You can figure out ways.
Steelers did it with Fields.
Steelers did it with Fields as well. So there are packages out there where you can get a guy like Jalen Milroe on the field. So I am excited to see him with a pretty creative coaching staff there.